Says.
All right, there we go. So we got new speakers, so we're gonna be testing this out today. I got this idea from Presley because he has a very similar setup. I just have a knockoff brand. It's not the same brand. I don't even remember what brand he has for these speakers, but
works good.
Yeah, so far it seems to work good on our testing. So if you hear Mike making weird noises and swallowing and stuff, like he was talking about it earlier, you're going to hear every last gurgle.
You can hear me swallow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, these speakers should be better. I mean, we're usually recording from like, I don't know, 15, 20 feet, would you say, from the
Probably,
camera?
yeah.
Some of that. So if I'm facing away from you, talking to the wall, you're not going to be able to hear me, but with these you can. And also just in general, you'll hear
very clearly.
Yeah. All right, on a different note, we're going to go over turtle. So the defense to turtle, or from turtle, I should say. So we're going to go over basically the basic positioning of turtle to avoid the rear naked choke. We'll go over like where we should position our arms to prevent like hooks. And then after that, we'll kind of go over basic grip fighting. Because there's going to be like two ways that our opponents are going to try and attack our turtle. They're either going to try and get grips and open us up, or they're going to use like off balances to open us up. And I kind of answered the next question. After that, it's dealing with the off balances. And then we'll probably move on from there to either front headlock, which is still turtle, but they're like just in a different orientation to your body. And we'll go from there to the belly down armbar. So like the turtle armbar. And what else did I say was going to be in this part? Oh, and the upright turtle is probably going to be tossed in there too, like the sit-out position. So all turtle related stuff. It's not going to be all in one video. It's going to be in a series just like we've been doing. I kind of like the series because I can put a lot of detail into each video, but I can break up the videos into like 10 minutes long, 20 minutes long instead of having like 1 3-hour video. Because our headquarters system
2.5 hours
was like over 2.5 hours spread over 14 videos. So I don't think anybody's going to sit here and watch a 2.5-hour video on guard passing. But if they break it up into 14 videos, then it's a little bit easier. Especially with the amount of info there is, you're not going to be able to process a whole detailed 2.5-hour video.
Still didn't process it all. I was in the video.
So yeah, so we'll go over turtle. So when I'm doing turtle, this might be a little bit harder for me to do. By the way, I did roll for the first time today in like 3 weeks since spraining my ankle. I got KT tape on, but it's still flexing my ankle. Doesn't really feel amazing. So we'll see what I can do with the turtle. But I did roll without any issues, so that was nice.
It was.
We went down to Bridgewater, trained at Fortitude, got some rolls in. The rolls are going on the YouTube channel right now, actually. Yeah. So turtle. Basic turtle positioning. If Mike is the top person and he's off to my left, let's say, I'm always looking towards Mike. So if I don't look towards Mike, we're not going to worry about the actual positioning of my arms or anything yet. We're just going to focus on my head. If Mike is beside me here and top the turtle, if I don't look at Mike, he can dig a choke with his left arm. And yep.
I don't want to hit Mike.
Yeah, my Mike's on my ear.
Okay.
So, and then now from here, he can choke me because he has the angle. Yep. So if I'm facing the floor or if I'm facing away, you'll notice it's even easier for you now, Mike, to wrap the choke.
Yeah.
Right? So when we're playing turtle, I'm going to be doing boxing shoulder, where I tuck my chin into my shoulder. And I'm going to be looking towards Mike. So even if I don't tuck my chin into my shoulder, if Mike is beside me over here, and he tries to choke me without getting to the other side or going behind me, all of a sudden my neck is really long and he doesn't have the angle to wrap up a rear naked choke. All right? And then as further insurance, I tuck my chin so he can't get under one side of my neck.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
So now it's just a face crank, right?
Yeah.
There's no choke there, right? So every time we're on bottom of turtle, I'm constantly looking towards him and trying to put a boxing shoulder in. If he switches sides, like I'm here and then he switches to this side, I immediately start looking to this direction, right? So I'm constantly being aware of where Mike is, and I want to constantly face him with my head, all right? Our arms, typically, how I show where to put my arms is rest your arms on your lap with your elbows just barely poking out. If my arms are in too tight, he's going to be able to jam my arms in and get grips. If my arms are too wide, there's going to be a space inside my elbows. So if I go in the middle, there's no space inside my arm, but I'm still pointing my elbow out, I can keep my arms strong and they can't pummel inside, right? So now that I'm here, now I'll bring my upper body towards my arms, right? I don't typically bring my arms to my upper body. I usually bring my upper body to my arms just because I'm less likely to like take my elbows off my lap that way, all right? And I kind of like curl my body here as well because I'm trying to make myself have the longest range possible with my arms because I want to be able to protect the sides of my neck, which is what we'll go over next. So my hands are going to usually, when we're talking about just pure defense, my hands are going to be cupping and facing away from my chin on either side of my chin here, like this. And then I'd be looking at Mike. So if Mike's sitting beside me in turtle, my hands are like this. Where if he tries to get inside position on me, my limbs are all tucked. My elbows are just barely poking out, right?
Yeah.
And then if he's trying to choke me, I'm facing him so he doesn't have the angle. And I can also intercept his hands by cupping with my hands. All right. And then lastly, I typically stay on the balls of my feet when I'm playing turtle. But sometimes I will drop down to the laces of my feet if my opponent is trying to like grab ankles and stuff like that to tilt me over. I can't really do that very well right now with my ankle anyway. But typically, I have my balls and my feet on the floor so I can move around and have power in my legs when I need them. But there are times where I'll go flat with my feet. So the next part now that we know basic positioning with our turtle, is eventually, if I just sit here, Mike is eventually going to be able to get inside position on my upper body, right? So if I'm in turtle here like this, eventually, Mike, if he wants to use his hand, like use your right hand, like a saw underneath my far armpit, like in my elbow, yeah, eventually he can saw his hand in there eventually, where now he has inside position, right? So right now, Mike has just like a claw grip or an underhook, depending on who you talk to. But this is what he has now. So he has inside position here. So I'm going to face you while I do this, but you'd be normally facing the floor. So I'm going to keep a strong downward elbow, almost like I'm trying to like flex my lats here, like this. And I'm going to grab the top of Mike's hand, peel it down as much as I can. He's going to be resisting, so I might not pull it down very much. And now I'm going to bring my elbow to the inside, and now he's no longer got the inside position anymore, right? So again, Mike saws his arm inside. I'm keeping a tight elbow, catch, pummel my elbow to the inside, and then he no longer has like an underhook or a claw grip. So normally it would be like this, where I'm facing the floor. He gets in, he's going. Boom, I intercept. Boom, now he's back on the outside again. All right? If he gets a wrist grip, so when he gets inside my arm here like he just did, another thing he can do is grab my wrist here like this, right? So now from here, I'll pass it over. So I almost like bring my arm across a little bit, grab it, just like the tripod escape system. Pinky up, pinky down. And now same thing, we just forced him back in that same position. Inside, right? And again, I'm doing all of this facing the floor, but I'm doing it facing you just so you can see.
fair.
Again, just like the tripod escape system we talked about, if he gets a crossed wrist, so if he gets like this wrist control, sometimes he can pass it off to this hand, and now he has a crossed wrist, right? Just like the tripod escape system we did before, I'm going to pass my arm over deeper to expose his wrist, and then I'm going to scrape his wrist off with my elbow while keeping tight so he doesn't get wrist control on this arm, right? So you'd be going under my elbow. Yeah, here, right? I'm just constantly trying to take him out of the inside position. Oh, that's yours. That was mine. All right. So if he can't get inside position, he's going to have a hard time off balancing us, and he's going to have a hard time opening us up with any of his grips. All right, because he won't really have very strong grips. Another thing, I'll show you this one because I don't think you've done this before.
Okay.
But another kind of grip or wedge that they'll try and attempt to go for is like a knee wedge. So if he's in turtle here and I'm on top, one thing that some opponents will try and do is they'll take their knee and they'll drive it in here like this to separate, feel that? To separate his knee away from his elbow here. Now a lot of time they're going to pull you off your butt to step over your ankle and drag your leg open and put in a hook. So just like the same concept with the arms, when we're here, having troubles?
No, I just didn't want to fall off.
When I'm here, when he tries to drive this knee inside my knee and elbow here, not on the floor, you're going to try and go like inside my knee and elbow space. Yeah, in there. If he starts to win, I'll use my opposite hand, push the knee out, and pummel my arm back in. Right? So he does it again. Here. So my proper arm position, it's hard for you to do it.
Yeah, I can't.
Because my elbow's kind of poking out still.
Yeah, I can't get
But if he starts to beat me here, my other hand meets his knee, and I move myself away, and I get back to the inside. All right? So a lot of this is going to be just trying to defeat his inside position and not allow him to get inside position. All right? I'm not sure. How long is this video, do you think, so far already?
Maybe like 7-8 minutes.
So let's stop there. So that's like your basic positioning and clearing grips from turtle. The next section we'll go over like defeating the off balances and defeating them opening you up. But for this one, yeah, so we went over looking to defend the choke and using your hands as well. Keeping proper elbow position on your lat so that they can't insert hooks. They can't really drive their knees in to separate your knee and elbow very good. Pummeling our elbows back to the inside position versus the knee and versus underhooks, and how to clear wrists so far.